one. We're going to identify the conic given by r equals 40 divided by 3 plus 5 sine of theta. All right, so basically, let's see what we've got here. We have sine, so we're using this formula here. And to get it to look like this so we can find our e, we need a 1. So what I'm going to do is take my polar equation and divide each term by 3. And that's going to give me a 1 here. So we're going to have r equals 40 divided by 3. And then 3 divided by 3 plus 5/3 sine of theta. Now what this means is our e is 5/3. So if e equals 5/3 and 5/3 is greater than 1, that means we have a hyperbola, which I already kind of sketched here just to save some time. We don't have to sketch it, we just have to identify it. So if that's all you needed, that's it. But I'm going to write some more information down. What I want to do is rewrite my polar equation, r equals, and notice we also have an e up here. So I'm going to put my 5/3 here, factor it out, and I have an 8 here. That gives me more information. Then we're going to have 1 plus 5/3 sine of theta. All right. The graph is a hyperbola with focus at the pole and a horizontal directrix, y equals 8, units above the polar axis. So this is the polar axis here, and here we go. This is 8 units above the polar axis. All right, and therefore the transverse axis of the hyperbola lies on the line theta equals pi divided by 2. So that's where your transverse axis is. Lies on this line here. And this is the line. Also, you could say it's x equals pi divided by 2, right? It's just use your angle. All right, and so if we want to get the vertices, we can just substitute in our pi divided by 2. So if theta equals pi divided by 2, we're going to have this equals 40 divided by 3 divided by 1 plus 3/3. This is going to be 40 divided by 8, which equals 5. So here, this vertice right here is going to be 5 comma pi divided by 2. So that's this one. Now let's look for this one. That would be theta equals 3 pi divided by 2. That's going to give you the same thing but minus. So 40 divided by 3. Then you have 1 minus 5/3. And that's just going to equal 40 divided by -2, which equals -20. So my other vertex, this is vertex 1. My other vertex is going to be -2, or -20, sorry, comma 3 pi divided by 2. Now we can look at the vertices and look at the length of the transverse axis. So if you find the distance between these, the distance is going to be 15. So the length of the transverse axis is 15. I just did make 20 minus 5. Okay, so it's 15. That means A equals 15 divided by 2. We have basically 2A equals 15. So A is 15 divided by 2. We also know that E equals K divided by A. So therefore we have K squared also equals A squared plus B squared. And again, I'm just doing a little extra work here. You don't have to do that. You can stop. But then that means our B squared is going to equal K squared minus A squared. And our K, we can write this as E A squared minus a squared. All right, or we can write this as factoring out of a squared, e squared minus 1. So solving for b squared, we can get is going to equal 15 divided by 2 squared, and then we're going to have 5 divided by 3 squared minus 1. This is going to give me 15 divided by 2 squared times 16 divided by 9. This can be simplified to 15 times 15 times 4 divided by 9, and this equals 300 divided by 3, which is 100, which equals b squared. Therefore, b equals 10. All right, so now we can use the a and b to determine the asymptotes of the hyperbola, if you want to do that. So basically, we have y minus n squared divided by a squared minus x minus m squared divided by b squared equals 1. And that means k squared equals a squared plus b squared. So this is an equation of a hyperbola at center m, comma n, and foci are k units from the center. That's just basically your definition. All right. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.